Okay, folks, today we're going to talk about building a team. And you know where this came from? It came from the craziest place. My son just started football. So he's in grade 8. He's been playing rugby. He's been playing a sport called lacrosse, both very aggressive sports where you smash into each other like goats. And he's just been dying to play football. So he's just about to start high school and he started playing football. And I had to sit through this recorded presentation that the teacher did, the coach. And as I was watching it, I thought, hey, hold on a second. There's a couple of lessons in here that we should be reminding ourselves of for what grade 8 kids are learning in football. And it's about setting the rules. It's about being really clear on what building a team is. You got to think, we all, it's very common for us to complain or to joke with each other, like, I got to hire another person. And how come we can't find anybody good? And all of the comments that go around with that. And we're trying to run a business and, build a team for the long term. But it just occurred to me as I was watching this preview video that the school makes you watch is that they do it every year. Every single year, they start with brand new, fresh grade 8 students who mostly haven't played football before. Some of them know how to throw around a football. That's fine. But, throwing a football and catching a football is one thing. Throwing or catching a football while some other big kid's trying to smash you is a completely different thing. And those of you who've played football know what I mean. It's the same in rugby. It's the same in lacrosse. It's one thing to work on the skills, but it's another thing to do those skills while somebody's hacking and slashing at you with a big stick. They don't do that in rugby, but that's what lacrosse is, or hockey. So let's look at some of the rules that got put in place by the teacher. But also, I want to remind you of the rules for us in business. The first rule is this. It's up to me and you to set the attitude for our company. A company is a reflection of the leader. A company is a reflection of the leader. So if you've stepped back and just allowed the crew to run the way they run, then that's a reflection of you stepping back and allowing that to happen. What usually happens is somebody leans in to take that leadership position, whether it's good or bad. And so if you've got a bad attitude on your crew, it probably stems from one person who you allowed to take that leadership position. If your crew is disjointed and not really held together by anything, you have to look at yourself, as I have to look at myself, and ask why they're disjointed. I didn't know any of this stuff when I ran my own companies in the past, certainly not before I became a business coach. And so my companies were just a collection of people doing a job. But it wasn't until I started getting the understanding that building culture, building what it means to be part of our team was really important, that things really started to click for me. It got easier for me to run businesses. It actually got easier for me to run big businesses because I got to the point where I had to realize I was the problem. I wasn't leading the team. So if you're placed in a position where you have to lead, get up and lead, get out there and do it. And you, being a business owner, have done that. Those of you who've listened to my show, any of the 2 shows that I run, or have even met me personally, will remember me talking about an idea, a mindset called the victor/victim mentality, a way of looking at the world. And really, it comes down to the kind of choices we make. We need a company, we need a team. If we want to run our team properly, we need a team that is what we call above the line, or is made up of winners, people who take responsibility, who take ownership, who have some sort of vision for the future, who take responsibility in what they do. It's my job to tell everybody that's what our team is all about. And if you're going to join my team, this is what I need you to do. And if you're not willing to do that, at least don't stop other people from doing it either, right? It's fine if you don't want to participate. I need laborers. I need people who are going to just follow and not really contribute in a leadership position. That's fine. But don't get in the way of other people who are doing great things with their life, who are making the most out of every minute of their day. Don't get in their way. And the opposite of people above the line, remember, we've got people who are proactive and positive. They take responsibility. They take ownership in the things they do, right? They have some sort of vision. They think about doing a good job. So again, we want people who are like that, or who aren't going to get in the way of having people around them who are like that. But the opposite of that is the kind of company that would be absolute HE double hockey sticks to live in. If you're in this situation, take some moves to change it. Actually, I'll go through some moves you can put in place for when you're hiring new people or with your existing team to change this. But people who are below the line, they look a certain way too. They place blame. They make excuses. They're negative. They're in denial. If you as the owner are placing blame or making excuses, if you're negative, if you're in denial, your team's going to do the same thing. Let me just say that a different way. If I place blame, my team will place blame. If I make excuses, my team will make excuses. If I'm negative, my team will be negative. My team will reflect the leadership. That's just how it goes. My team will reflect the leadership. There's a good quote that I want to share with you. It's a Vince Lombardi quote, football quote. Of course, there's a bit of a football theme going on here. This is what Vince Lombardi had to say about excuses. Don't succumb to excuses. So what he means there is don't fall for excuses. Go back to the job of making corrections and forming the habits that will make your goal possible. Now, that's a bit of a mouthful, but what he's talking about there is to have the mental strength, perseverance, and discipline to have success principles in place in your business. I'm going to show you some of those right now, and I'm going to tell you where to find some. By the way, and listen, I don't care if you buy the book or not, but they are in the book. The book is called Construction Millionaire Secrets. You can get it on Amazon. It's 10 or 15 bucks, whatever it is. I don't know, but buy it. It's 10 or 15 bucks. But in there, I lay out exactly how to hire people right and how to train them right so that they're set up to be productive members of your company instead of people who are drawing or sucking that energy away. Now, you might have people in the company, and some of those people might be in high positions who are drawing or sucking the energy out of the company, or they're just causing bad mojo. That's a different situation. If you find yourself in a situation where a partner, a family member, a senior executive, a foreman is that negative force, shoot me a text message. You guys know my cell phone number. If you don't, I'll repeat it. It's 604-837-8361, and just say, Dom, dark sucking sound coming from my company. No, that's too long. Just say, Dom, let's talk. And I'm happy to get on the phone with you and have a quick discussion, some ideas, some insights. I'll share some stories. I like stories. You know, at the end of this episode, there'll be another story time with Dom, which is always very popular. But I've got lots of stories because I've been doing this for 20, 21 years, and I've seen other situations. I keep everything confidential, so I'll wrap the story or the analogy or how somebody else has dealt with a similar situation to you inside that. But I hope it helps you understand you're not alone. A lot of business owners have said, well, I think I'm above the line. I'm the kind of person who's proactive to take responsibility, to take ownership. My wife doesn't. Or my business partners, my brother, my cousin, my best friend, and they don't. What do I do? Well, it's a sticky situation. I'll walk you through how to make that change. It's a slow change. It's got to be slow, but that change is possible. The change is possible. We can do it. I'll show you how, but there's a system. Surprise, surprise. There's a system for doing that. There's a process. Anyways, let's get back to this. You heard what Lombardi had to say. I've got another quote that I want to share with you here. And this comes from Admiral William McRaven. Now, he's a Navy SEAL commander. This is the guy who was in charge of the raid that killed bin Laden. Actually, this guy was in charge of so many raids that whacked so many of the bad guys that it's just impressive that he's got that kind of credentials. But Navy SEALs, as we know, are among the elite in the American military. And for those of you who served, whether you're in the SEALs or not, thank you for your service. Whether you're in the American military or not, thank you for your service. We're able to have a podcast like this and run businesses because you went and served. So thank you. But Admiral McRaven talked about this. He said the fact is, rule number one is do the small things right. And he says you should make your bed in the morning. Make your bed in the morning. Isn't that a small task? It's a tiny little thing, but it's an indication. It's an example of doing small things right. Doing those small things right adds up to doing big things right. It's the discipline inside the company. So when we're hiring people, we have to do small things right. I have to make sure that even if somebody doesn't have a great attitude, or if they're coming to me as sort of an unmolded lump of clay and they're willing to take on the attitude of my company, that I point them in the right direction. I got to point them in the right direction, right? So when I hire, first of all, I look for attitude. By the way, if you want more on hiring, I think just the previous episode to this one, we talked about some different places to hire people. As we know, finding people right now is an incredibly constricting thing. We have got to find ways to do a better job of finding people. Can't just post job ads on Indeed or on Craigslist and have people wander through the door like they used to do 5 and 6 years ago. No, now we have to find new and interesting ways to bring in people. And so, yeah, we're running ads on TikTok. We're running ads on Facebook. We're running ads on Instagram, believe it or not, to find people. And Dakota on my team knows how to do that. He's really good at it. It's crazy to see what he can do. We're not recruiters, but we do have clever ways to generate those. The same way that you would generate leads for new work, we can generate leads for you for new people. If you want to know more about that, by the way, just get in touch with me or Dakota. Actually, just get in touch with me and I'll get you in touch with Dakota. Dakota's a good guy. But shoot me a text, 604-837-8361. Just say, Dom, let's talk. And then, once we start talking, you can remind me you want to talk to Dakota about the great way to hire people. But listen, when you're hiring people is the first time to let them know what your expectations are. You're not going to hire everybody, but the people you do hire should have a sense of, oh, I'm working with a company that's like this. Because if you just allow it to be a hodgepodge of people, that's what it's going to be. So one of the ways I look for attitude just on their resume, if they've got one, or through talking to them, if we're just doing that, I look for people that have got a really high level of discipline in, let's say, music. Like, have they done a lot of music? Have they practiced? Have they, learned to play classical guitar at a very high level, and now they're a classical guitar teacher or piano or whatever it is. Look for people that are very, very strong in their faith and that take leadership positions in their place of worship. That is an indication of attitude to me. I can dig more into that and find out if it's in line with, what would work in our organization. Obviously, sports. I mean, not every person that comes in front of us is going to be a 6-degree black belt by the age they're 20. But if you do find somebody who's a 6-degree black belt by the age they're 20, that is a good indication that that person as an individual has worked within themselves to be excellent. And that tells me a lot about that person. That, that one is just an outlier. But look for people who have been really good or consumed with excellence in other things they've done. If they led their church choir, that's a good thing. That's the kind of person we want on the team. They took a leadership position, they put together a choir, that's a team, and they made it work. So all of those things are really important. Look for those attitudes. And one of the other things that I look for is if they've done any mission work. For those of you who aren't familiar with mission work, if you're part of a religious organization, sometimes you have an outreach program where you send people from your church group out. Sometimes they'll go to foreign countries and they'll build homes, or they'll go to foreign countries and do other work. But if you've got somebody who's done that, typically they've really had to reach deep inside themselves to reinvent themselves in a new place and have the strength of conviction to stand up for what they believe in a place that typically isn't all that welcoming. So that's what I look for, attitude. And then ask people. Right. So we see that in their resume, if we've seen a resume, or if they're talking to us at the job site, that maybe they show up, or maybe they show up at the shop at some point during the day, and I want to talk to them. So find out if they've played sports, find out if they're high level in music, find out if they're doing something else. If they said they're really, really good at GTA, Grand Theft Auto, that's not the kind of excellence we're looking for here. We're looking for a different kind of excellence. You make the judgment call. But do you want a video game playing, cheesy eating, dope smoking guy who prefers to sit on the couch and just get paid enough to continue his lifestyle? Or do you want somebody who's got a bit of motivation? Again, I don't know your crew. Maybe that's the guy you want. But then one of the things I'll ask people in the interview, and we have a 2-step interview process. If you want it, it's free. It's on the website. Go to the Profit Tool Belt website. It's profittoolbelt.com. Go to the free section, free resources section, and right there you can see the 2-step interview process, which gives you all of these questions to ask. So you can start to suss out whether this is the right kind of person who can add value to your team, or if they're just going to be a black sucking sound that pulls the soul out of your company. You don't want those people. But one of the things I'll ask, it's not even in the script, but I'll ask people, can you make it on our team? Can you make it on our team? And just ask them that, see what they say. And they'll say, yeah, I can make it on your team, whatever. Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, I've been doing this for years, kid. They'll say to me, because I'm 50. They're older. They'll say, I'm 53. They'll say, yeah, I've been doing this for longer than you've been doing it. I know how to edge band. I know how to, do vacuum pumps. I know how to do whatever, place concrete, whatever it is they do, right? Yeah, but can you make it on our team? What does that mean? Well, our team runs like a team. This is what we stand for. And this is where you put the job site rules in place. This is where you start to say, this is the culture of our company. It's your job and mine to tell the culture of the company. And I'll tell you, the way that my son's football team did it is they said, look, here's the set of rules. Here's the equipment you need. It's mandatory equipment. And you've got to have it. Some of it's provided by the school. So of course, on your job, you might have different things. And here's the other things that's not provided. But they tell people on the first day, this is how you need to show up. In this case, the school provides helmet, shoulder pads, pants with built-in pads. And believe it or not, they supply the mouth guard. I hope those aren't used. I was a little surprised by that. My kids got so many mouth guards kicking around, it's not even funny. So we don't need the school mouth guard. But mandatory equipment. I remember when I showed up on my first day on a construction job site, I was working for my uncle as a framer. My uncle's Italian because our family's Italian, but his business partner was a German guy from Uruguay or Paraguay. And so the most of the crew was German Mennonites who had escaped to Paraguay or Uruguay. I apologize for not remembering. But I showed up with my hammer, and I was walking around with it in my hand, and the crew lead is like, "Hey, buddy, you got to find a way to hold that thing." So I grabbed a piece of wire that I found on the ground and wired it to my pants. Like, I didn't know, but the next day they said, "You better show up here with a construction belt and lose the kitchen hammer." They said the hammer I had was a kitchen hammer, right? Anyways, are you telling the people that you're hiring, hey, this is what we expect when you show up? You got to have steel-toed boots. You got to wear a hard hat, whatever the rules are in your region, right? Recommendation for gloves, recommendation for types of boots, recommendation for types of belt, whatever, tool belt or tools. Make those things clear, because you're going to pay this guy when he shows up on day one. And if he's not ready to work, you still got to pay him. So you might as well put the rules in place right away. And it's not changing the world, but you have to let him or her know these are the expectations. Speaking of expectations, here I'm looking at a slide here that says, this is for my son's football team, grade 8 team expectations. The first point is grow up. That's the first point, grow up. The second point on that slide is attitude is everything. Boom. Like, there's no escaping it. This coach is setting the tone for what it means to be on the team. Have I set that tone in my company? And have you set the tone in your company? Grade 8 team expectations, grow up. You aren't little kids anymore. You're responsible for yourself. Be a self-advocate. He says, communicate. I don't coach your parents, I coach you. He was very specific here. He said, do not tell your parents to come and talk to me and say you have a doctor's appointment and you can't make practice, so you have to leave early. He goes, you come and tell me. I have a doctor's appointment. I have to leave early from practice or whatever it is. He's telling them, take that responsibility. The rules are set early, and I guarantee you the rules are repeated often. That's the grade 8 team expectations. We're talking about grade 8s. Are we doing this with the people on our team? Some of the other expectations is represent the team in a positive manner. So he talks about, football always has this, what do you call it? This attitude, right? Everybody's like, oh, it's the football team. Oh, that's the quarterback, or that guy's an O-liner. And so that's how he acts. He said, that's not how we act. Represent the team in a positive manner. And so he's very specific. He said, if there's a group of 10 kids goofing it up in the parking lot and a teacher drives by and they see one jacket from the football team, the story will come back into the staff room that the football guys were goofing it up in the parking lot. Are your guys wearing uniforms out there? Are they acting the right way on a job site? Are they acting the right way when they go into the supplier or Home Depot or wherever they're going to get gear? You have to tell people what it means to be on your team. Let me say that again. I have to tell people the expectations for what it means to be on my team. By the way, in the book, Construction Millionaire Secrets, you can get it on Amazon if you want, but I'll tell you what's going on here. Construction Millionaire Secrets, if you already have the book, on page 92, I've got a sample set of job site expectations. Job site expectations that are posted at the job site so everybody understands. One of my clients who runs a kitchen and bath renovations company actually has at the job site, he sets up a poster on the job site as with a whiteboard so he can leave notes for his team, but also knowing the homeowners are going to see it. And so here's a couple of the rules. It's not from the kitchen and bath reno guy. This is rules that I've taken from a bunch of different companies over the years. Let me just read you just randomly. I'll go rule number 1, rule number 7, rule number 13, and rule 17 or something like that. Okay, here's rule number 1. Getting to work on time. 7:15 for a 7:30 start is 100% your responsibility. That's rule number 1. It's right there. What did I say the next one was going to be? Rule number 7. Before you report work completed to the foreman, ask yourself, Am I proud of the work I've done? That's a simple rule. It can apply anywhere. So maybe you do custom work for whatever you're doing, and you say, Dom, we always do custom skylights. So no job is ever the same. Okay, the output is different, but the process is the same. And so you can put these rules against the process for what you're doing, right? Custom skylights is one thing, but how we install custom skylights is what we're going to do the rules about, right? So before you report work completed to the foreman, ask yourself, am I proud of the work I've done? Boom. What kind of change would that make in your company? Rule number 13, I said, well, this one's pretty simple. At 4:45, stop work. Not at 4:40, not at 4:42, not at 4:44. At 4:45, stop work. I know that when I worked on construction sites, in almost all cases, somebody blew a whistle. And man, I'll tell you, when they blew the whistle, guys just dropped their tool belt, right? And some guys had the suspender, some guys had the belt on, right? Boom, everything hit the floor. But that's when cleanup started. Not at 4:40, not because you feel like it. At 4:45, we stop work. And I said number 17, gather your personal tools and meet the foreman at the muster station. So you can't just walk off the job site. You have to come and bring your tools to the foreman at the muster station, which is where they're gathering the tools and putting them in the construction box, the lock box. And then you can leave. You can't just walk off the site no matter where you are. You have to go through the foreman and sort of report out. That's some example job site construction rules. Maybe you've got your own. Well, if you have your own, write them down. And when you hire a new guy, let's say you're hiring me, just say, Dom, congratulations, welcome to the team. I'm going to send you the job site rules. Please review those for tomorrow. The second thing I'm going to send you, Dom, is a video. It's a video on YouTube. It's easy to watch. Can you get to YouTube? Yeah, I can see YouTube. Okay, great. It's ladder safety. It's lockout and tag out safety. It's how a saw stop works safety. It's how to wear your PPE, let's say your mask if they're doing some painting. I don't mean I don't care, but choose a video, ask them to watch it between day 1 and day 2 of working for you. On day 2, you or your foreman check and see if the person watched it. Did you watch the ladder safety video? Yeah, no, I didn't do that. Okay, that's a requirement for working here. So I need you to watch that video tonight on your own time. Can you do that? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, listen, if you don't do that, don't come in tomorrow. I'm asking you for your safety and everybody else here. Ladder safety is important. These are all dads and moms working here. I want everybody to go home safe. I want you to go home safe. Can you watch the ladder safety video tonight before you come in? Yeah, I'll watch it. Okay, great. You know how to get to YouTube? Yeah. Can I send you the link again by text? Yeah, go ahead, send it to me. Great. Now he knows he's got to watch it. Listen, if he's going to quit, he's going to quit anyway. I don't want to keep a bad guy on the team. I also want everybody else around to know that I am consistently applying those rules. I'm going to add this one, and this is a hammer. Let's say your brother works for you and he doesn't watch the ladder safety video. You got an attitude problem in your brother. We have to deal with that. Reach out to me and I'll walk you through how to do that. It is a slow and delicate process. It's never easy. It's quite often stressful, but I do have systems and processes that I've shown others to do that successfully with before. It's not impossible. It just you can't reinvent the wheel on your own, right? The wheel's already being invented. We know it's round. Now we're just negotiating the color and the thickness. So give me a call or shoot me a text and I'll walk you through it. If you've got somebody in your family or maybe a senior leader who's actually the attitude problem that everything else stems from. So we'll figure that out. Okay, listen, starting people right is my responsibility. I want to train them right. I know that one of the places that I did this in one of my previous companies, you guys know that I've had multiple different businesses, not always in construction. I hope that's okay. This is about the business of the construction business. This is not about the construction business. This is about the business of running a construction business. That's why people listen to this show, because this is about entrepreneurship. This is about leadership. This is the hidden information that you probably didn't find until you found this show. It's the next level that people are looking for. It's the how-to stuff that goes beyond how to square and frame a wall. This is way beyond that. This is the business of the construction business. And so I feel very good at sharing tips from other industries, from other applications that you can use here in construction as well. So I put this in place in one of my other businesses, one of my other companies, and I've helped people put it in place in their companies too. Guys that do roofing, guys that do tiling, guys that just do moldings and custom fireplace mantles. guys that do kitchen cabinets all over the place, guys that do renovations, guys that do electrical, HVAC, solar, all these different industries. And this is it. When you do your training right away, so I'll refer to this how I did it in my old company. In my old company, we were hiring 10 people a week, and I built a call center of 140 people. 140 people. And these were entry-level staff, guys. These were not people already trained in call center, and they weren't trained in our specific product and service. I had to train them from scratch. So we had slides that we went through, just simple PowerPoint slides. You can do it as pieces of paper. It doesn't have to be fancy, right? Slide number one, how to log in. We need your numbers so we can pay you. We need your government ID and all that stuff, all the administrivia. Slide number two, attitude. Our expectations of attitude in the company. And I will tell you, I had people kind of tearing up when they saw that slide. They're like, I didn't realize I finally got a job that I've been waiting for my whole life, where people were above the line. They were proactive, positive, taking responsibility, taking ownership for the things they did, that had vision, and they thought about doing things really well. And I said in that same slide, what we won't accept here is blame, excuses, negativity, denial, or scarcity. Can't accept that here. And people got that. That was day one, slide number two. It sets the expectations. And so all I'm going to urge you to do now is take action. Just do one of the things we talked about today. Set the expectations like my son's high school football coach just did. Set the expectations like I've done before. Set the expectations for what quality control looks like in your company. Just change one little thing in the business, and then be the person that beats that drum. If you want everybody else to be positive, you have to be positive. If you want everybody else to not place blame, then you and I can't place blame either. Okay, I hope you got a lot out of this episode. It's been juicy. It's certainly high-level stuff. It's not about swinging the hammer. It's not about turning wrenches. It's not about hydraulic hoses and fittings. This is about the business of the construction business. And if you want to move your business from where you are now to the next level, and when I say the next level, I'm doing air quotes, the next level is going to require some different thinking. It just needs different thinking. If you're used to pouring concrete for patios right now, and I ask you to do a concrete overpass, you still know concrete, no problem, but you need some different thinking. You need some different engineering. This is the engineering you need to get to the next level in your business. I want to help you do that. Listen, if you're stuck on anything, if I confused you, if you didn't understand it, shoot me a text message. You guys know my cell, 604-837-8361. Say what you need to say in the text. If you want to meet Dakota so you can figure out how to get more people using online methods, people have just started doing this. It's leading edge and it's working. If you want to talk to Dakota, send me a text message, 604-837-8361. We'll be there to help you. And if you have any other questions, let me know as well. Also in this episode, I mentioned the book. It's called Construction Millionaire Secrets. You can get that on Amazon. Like I said, I don't even remember the price. It's 10 or 15 bucks. And I think you're going to love it. Everybody has loved it already. So I think you'll get a lot of value of it. And there's lists and processes and checklists. There's 20 simple systems that you need to run a construction business a little bit better than you're running it now. You've already built a great company. Now we have to get it to the next level. That's what I want to show you there. All right, folks, thanks for checking in. Stay tuned for Storytime with Dom. We'll talk to you soon.